So I've got another day of not having a lot of sleep. I do this a lot where I've been awake for 24 hours and then I'll finally get some sleep, and I lay down for no longer than 2 to 3, maybe 4 at most, before I have nightmares, and it wakes me back up. This is a problem that has been ongoing most of my life. It's trauma and PTSD related, and sometimes it's related to things that I've been through, and other times my mind is just trekking the horror path and trying to give me some more story fodder. So I will probably use little elements out of the last dream that I had if I remember or get the time to write it down. Like, I remember the dreams. I have hyperphagia, so very vivid, especially in the dreamscape. It's really vivid, and I usually remember most, if not all. And what I don't remember, as I remember the beginning, then I remember what came before it, and then what led up to that. And so on one hand, it gives me more stuff to write about, but on the other hand, I also feel like crap, and I have a headache. I would have gone back to sleep, but with the type of headache that I have, it's all lodged in the back of my head, and it feels like it's all swollen and really, really hot. It's like there's a balloon in there, and it makes me feel nauseous. With that type of headache, usually I'll go straight back to the same dream that I was dreaming already, and it'll continue even if I've been up for an hour. So I'm gonna go get me some food, which will completely change up some brain chemistry, because that's gonna be something I very much enjoy, and the headache should be gone by then. So I'm gonna have a really long night at work, which is another 12 hours. I don't have my watch. What am I looking at my watch for? It's gonna be another 12 hours. Plus, no, yeah, it's about another 17 hours. So yeah, the last 2 days I've maybe had about 4 hours of sleep. It's fun. I want to get back to writing, but I'm also working on some other stuff. And usually it's kind of funny, because the more excited I am about something that I've latched onto and that I want to plan out, like a career goal or whatever, especially once I actually start on it, then all of a sudden I am able to write, because I have to be stressing about something else to be able to unleash the floodgates. Like, that makes sense. But I'm not going to be focusing on writing or art for the foreseeable next decade, but I will be doing it anyway. It's just not going to be the center core focus. So that way I know that I'll be moving towards something, as well as, still got something on the side that I enjoy. So step 1 is almost complete. We got 2 months. House paid off in June. And step 2 is savings, while maybe doing some associate's degree while working night, because I can always hit that half-aware state, and that's usually good enough for me. And then I just need a hour or 2 nap, and then I can turn around and on my day off sleep for like 14 to 24 hours and catch up. It's not healthy, but I've done that for years whenever I'm stressed out or I've got a lot going on. I mean, so burnout's a very real thing for me. Not just like, oh, haha, I don't feel like doing anything, I'm sad. No, I'm like, I don't feel good, I'm physically ill. But once I catch up, I'm usually okay. The emotional burnout is also another one. You get the physical as well as the emotional. Once my energy level goes back up, or I get inspired again, then, I feel better for the most part. So I do know with, hold on, let me think. I'm gonna pause this while I think. Oh yeah, that's another sign of exhaustion, is this being on the middle of a track, and then it just fades off, and I'm like, no, come back, please. I was in the middle of having fun with you, thought. Abandonment issues. I forgot what I was gonna say, but that's okay. I don't no need to stress over what I was gonna say. But yeah, so another day. And one other thing is, once I get excited about something and I see progress, usually that'll make me feel emotionally better. Like, some days I'll be trekking on, like, even if I'm not in a burnout, just going on learning and research, like, for the business and the books and the writing and the editorial stuff and the accounting and, like, freaking everything I've had to do. The more I've had to do and the bigger the to-do list has grown, it sometimes gets really, really hard, and I start feeling depressed and lost. And it doesn't matter if I've got quarterly goals or just keep pushing with what I'm working on, or the Kanban system, which all of that's helped. Even the accomplishments logs have helped for, like, my emotional and mental health. But the thing that seems to really help cut through the depression part of that, it got to a point where it was kind of meditative. So I'd be in the middle of everything, and then the anxiety would start creeping up and wrapping its claws around my chest and just making it hard to breathe and making it hard not to just start crying and stuff. And I'd be like, I don't got time for you, depression. I've got to focus. And just give depression a big middle finger and keep walking. Because if I'm wallowing and I'm letting myself be sad, then I'm not moving forward. And with my I can't even think of the name of things. It's okay. My anxiety disorder, high functioning anxiety. With high functioning anxiety disorder, it's not just striving to be the best. You have an internal monologue that is constantly nagging you on. And a lot of times that's because of past issues, past traumas, other things that have caused you to need to be the very best you can be. And if you're not doing the best or the most that you can do, competing with yourself at all times, I don't even have to compete with anybody else. I compete with myself. Like, oh yeah, I can beat that one. Watch this. Aw, man. Well, I'm gonna outdo you. So, now I'm talking to myself. Anyway, I probably sound drunk. I'm just tired. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do nothing that. But, so the high functioning anxiety stuff, it's not just the internal monologue or trying to compete with yourself or be the perfectionist. It's, if you're not doing anything, then you're wasting your life and your time, and that's what it feels like. I know it's not. I know it's mental health. Like, I'll stop working on all my projects and I will actually go do something I enjoy, and the first thing, even while I'm enjoying, like, this scheduled day off, my mind goes back to, well, I could be working on a project because I really like it. I love making progress on it. And but I did find during the copy editing research and training that I spent 6 months on, and also during the accounting and the Excel spreadsheet formula writing stuff, it got to be meditative after a while, because once you get to telling depression basically to F off, sorry to be vulgar, once you tell it to go the hell away and then you don't have time for it and you got things to focus on, it gets a little easier to cut that out. It doesn't cut it out entirely, but focusing really, really, really helps. There's enough bullies in our life to make us sad already. Why do we need to join the bully team? We don't need to be bullies to ourselves, and most of us are. And if you're doing this, you need to quit it. You gotta love yourself. I've learned to forgive that I don't make it as far as I want to, or that I feel like I'm going in circles. The accomplishments logs, sorry, I just breathed in some of my own spit. I swear to God, I'm going to choke on food. That's going to be the way I die. I do that all the time. I'd just be eating normal and not even trying to talk with food in my mouth. I'd just be like, but anyway, a lot of us, we push ourselves too far and we don't have forgiveness, right? If you can be okay with wherever you're at on your writing journey or your business journey or whatever it is that you're working on, you know, your goals, as long as you're making progress toward them, it doesn't matter. Even if it feels like you're working in circles, which often it does. I mean, I spent 17 years trying to get my first book out. So what's that tell you? I had to rewrite it over 12 times, an entire freaking series. And I write big books. I had to put it down to go to college, and then I had to put college down to go back to work, and I had to work 2 jobs, and then I had a breakdown and had to go back to writing, and then I had to put it down to go and start remodeling, and then get a different job, and then start training for that job, and then wrote again, and then had a different job and had to start training for that job. It was a circle, man. But things crop up, and ultimately you do feel lost sometimes, and that is more than okay. The journey, it's really hard sometimes. I would recommend for you guys to try to avoid some of the sadness, the depression, the self-loathing that can happen. Keep an accomplishments log, like go by month and list out the things that you've done for the month that is goal oriented, as well as a lot of the extra stuff. Just be like what I was doing. In order to separate mine out so that I could see them visually, I had I'm sorry, I'm having digestive issues because I'm woke up and I'm not feeling very good. My stomach's messed up. At least the head's not hurting so much anymore. That medicine's kicking in. What I was doing was I would have a quarterly overview page that I would comb through the monthlies afterward and then put all the important stuff on. But what I would do is I would take in brackets in capital letters and put writing or write, and then anything that was writing related for the month for that date, I would journal that in. And it was a lot easier to type it because I could go back and just copy paste instead of rewriting, which, you know, yeah, journaling takes extra time and it's more stuff to do. But when it comes to your mental health, sorry, my hand is going numb. I got blood sugar issues, so blood sugar, blood flow, mental health. Yeah, I'm a psych and health soup. Issues. Let's see if I can balance this phone a little better. Anyway, there we go. That's better. So I would do the capital letters and then I'd briefly describe what it was, and sometimes I'd put how many hours I put in the project or whatever it was I was working on. So I was doing a lot of remodeling, so I would put build or remodel, depending on, most of the time it was just build, because then it wasn't just specifically that, because I had to build my own shelves, and then I had to we had to build the pergola, which is in disarray right now. I haven't done much gardening in a couple of years. And then I had to build the other shed over there. We've had to tear down this one. We had to fix the roof. We had to, I built our shelves. They were prefabs in the living room, so that they're floor to ceiling, but I had to bolt them to the wall. And then I had to build a desk bunk in my office so that I could slide my desk under it. Later on, a guest moved in and then moved out, so it was a bunk. Now it's a lounge area. Built the shelves behind the wall in the office from scratch. Built the other prefabs in the office. I built the one behind the door so it's not wasted space. Built the shelves inside the closet in the office. I mean, it's been project after project after project, and a lot of those I had to do myself because my husband's not good with tools. And my family, in my marriage, we are the reverse of your typical stereotypical couple where he's more the cleaning, cooking, and I'm more the handyman. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really lazy on the other stuff. I go through, when I start cleaning, it's not so much that I'm lazy, it's that I know when I start cleaning, I'm too much of a perfectionist and I freak out and I have anxiety over everything not being as clean as it needs to be. And I don't want to be an evil, mean, horrible monster wife. So I back off of it until, I can get to where I can manage that. But back to what I was saying. The accomplishments log. I'm sorry, I meandered. I do that a lot. It's my ADHD. It just I got a one-track mind, but it splits in every direction. Anyway, the accomplishments log, I'll just type in capital letters, brief description. So when at the end of the month, whenever, like, even if we buy new stuff, so I'll put like equipment or office supplies if it's for the office, or organize if it's cleaning something for the office or business, or for the house or whatever. I will actually label it, but I'll try to keep a consistent label so that whenever I comb through it, I can be like, okay, well, this, and this are related, so roughly everything done during this month. And then I will apply that to a cover sheet for the month that will roughly list like a brief overview with a statement about like how excited I am, and what all we bought for big purchase items and what we got and how far we've gotten on certain goals. And then on the quarterly one, I'll draw from the monthlies, and then I'll also have a yearly one at the end of the year. So what that did for me with my mental health and my emotional health was, after 17 years and not right before I had my book published, there was about 6 months there during the copy editing and accounting training that I was doing, basic bookkeeping stuff, which I wanted to build my stuff from scratch so I didn't have to pay $300 a year for QuickBooks. Starting off, you can't afford all that, But I went through all of this stuff and the training, and I was still in the middle of it, and I was having another round of anxiety and depression, and like, I've wasted 17 years of my life. I mean, yeah, I've learned so much, and I've continued to research and build on my skills and try to get to a point where later on I'll be able to teach all this to other people, so that I can help them to avoid a lot of the things that I have learned myself. And that's been a big focus of mine since day one of deciding to go indie, was I want to help people, not just write my books and enjoy it, but also I want to help other authors so bad. I can't stand the idea of other people driving themselves to lay on the floor in the fetal position crying because your passion is everything to you, and if you can't even finish what you love, then what good is life? I can't stand the idea of other people going through that. And I know there's a lot of people that do, and I'm sorry I'm emotional, but there's a lot to life, and yes, we need balance, but we also need to see that we're making progress, And I will say that there's a lot of programs out there that are free that help to organize things in a Kanban-styled organizational system. And there's a lot of support groups, there's a lot of writing groups, there's a lot of everything, but we also need to have accountability to ourselves and be able to manage what our own individual frustrations and disorders and lifestyles, and we need to be able to diagnose what's going on, which I've always been a self-analyzer. I've never been the type to play the victim card. I've always been the solution person because I never had a lot of things handed to me. I've had to work from scratch, mattress on the floor, no bed frame, kind of working my way up. Yeah, I mean, it's been a huge struggle, and it's always had that feeling of, well, if I fail, everything in my life is going to fall apart. And I feel like I'm going to die inside, and all of the horrible things that were, sorry, and all the horrible things that were told to me when I was younger, when I was a kid growing up, maybe they were right, you know? And I know better than that, but when you have mental health issues and stress and you don't know how else to live, but you do try your best to manage it, and you do try your best to put your best foot forward and always think forward, not back, you have setbacks. And if you don't have something to look at where you're going to see, I am amazing after all. You know, just looking at your own progress, you can look through the years, because that accomplishments log, it grows. And even if you quit doing it after you've had it for 2 or 3 years, you realize that, holy crap, I do way more than I thought I did, because it doesn't feel like it. But when you actually get to see an overview for not just the month or the quarter of the year, but an actual yearly and then a few years across, I mean, you get to see that you felt like you did nothing because this one project you're working on hasn't got very far, but all the stuff that you're building around the side, all of it comes together. You're putting brick by brick by brick around the entire foundation, and that slowly raises up a higher and higher until you're at a point where you get to finally finish off with the quick stuff. And once you get to throw that out there, it feels amazing, but you're not done. And there are periods where you just go happy, sad, happy, sad, happy, sad, happy, deathly sad. Okay, struggle to climb back up. I mean, it's a struggle, but I'm having to think really hard. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off here. You guys keep working and don't give up, okay? There's a whole community. I mean, you guys want to inspire each other, give a shout out to each other in the comments and say, keep going, we're here for you. And you guys want to shout out to me and say, hey, how do you deal with this? I will give what I can, any advice I can, or you know, how I've dealt with things, or I'll recommend you to some other groups that I know about that really encourage and support each other in the writing community. So anyway, just keep going, okay? And take care of yourself. Well, see y'all later. Bye.